the Texas Rangers. Red Sox arrive on a high note. They lost a heartbreaker in the first game of their series out in Anaheim, but bounced back to win each of the last 2 ball games behind outstanding starting pitching performances from Pedro Martinez and Tim Wakefield. So Grady Little and the Red Sox now 63 and 43. And 4 games behind the New York Yankees in the American League East. The Yankees are at Anaheim later tonight. The Red Sox and Angels in a dead heat. A flat-footed tie for first in the wild card race. Both 3 ahead of the Oakland Athletics. Grady Little's lineup tonight brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Johnny Damon, the center fielder, leads off. Trot Nixon is in right field batting second. Hitting third, the shortstop Nomar Garcia-Parra. Manny Ramirez, the DH and cleanup hitter. Cliff Floyd with excellent career numbers against Chan Ho Park, making his Red Sox debut in left field and hitting 5th. Jason Varitek, the catcher. Shea Hillenbrand will play third base and hit 7th. Brian Daubach at first base batting 8th. And Ray Sanchez, the second baseman, will hit 9th against Park, who has won only 1 of his last 10 starts.
Yeah, this really, Sean, has been a disaster for the Texas Rangers. He started the season off on the Sabre list with a hamstring problem. That was after his first start, and things have not got better for him since. This will be start number 16, the 3-5 record, an ERA of almost 7, and left-handers this year have really wore him out at a 306 batting average. So, you know, Park was supposed to be the ace of this pitching staff, but he's been anything but that for the Texas Rangers.
He's ready to go to work on a typical sweltering summer night here in Arlington, Texas. Temperature today approached 100 degrees, and with high humidity, the heat index made it feel even warmer than that. Johnny Damon in the batter's box, and the first pitch of the night from Park is a fastball for strike 1. 292 for Damon. 7 homers and 46 runs batted in. Down the right field line and pretty well hit. Way back and gone. A home run for Johnny Damon on the second pitch of the ball game. And the Red Sox take a very quick 1-0 lead.
Oh, that's just the wake-up call the Red Sox needed, too. The Red Sox arrived in town, probably didn't get to bed until sometime between 6:30 and 7 o'clock this morning. It almost feels like you just finished that last game against Anaheim. That looked to be a changeup from Chan Ho Park, and Johnny Damon right down the right field line with a quick Red Sox 1-0 lead.
Second time this season he's hit a leadoff homer, 12th time in his career. The other game this season was on April 5th. Off Josh Towers of Baltimore. Trot Nixon took ball 1. And he hits one hard to center field. On the run, Todd Hollinsworth, and he makes the catch right on the edge of the warning track. Hollinsworth in his first game with Texas. He just came over yesterday in a trade from the Colorado Rockies. The rest of the Texas defense tonight, Carl Everett in left field, Hollinsworth in center, and Kevin Mensch in right. Mike Lamb, the third baseman, Alex Rodriguez at short, Michael Young at second, Rafael Palmeiro at first, and Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate. Mike Riley, the home plate umpire, with Jeff Kellogg, Jerry Meals, and Eric Cooper working the bases. Here's Nomar. He stings one up the middle. They hit 3 balls very hard off Chan Ho Park. And they're going up there swinging early in the count against this pitcher who's had a terrible year.
First time the Red Sox have faced Chan Ho Park, and so far he has been no mystery to the top 3 hitters in the Red Sox lineup.
Two hits and a long fly ball for an out. And Pudge Rodriguez already out to the mound to speak with Chan Ho Park. Of course, the pitching has been a problem here for years, and it remains a big problem for Texas. Rangers are 45 and 62 for the season, in last place in the West, and a distant last 20.5 games behind first place Seattle. Here's Manny Ramirez hitting .319. 17 homers and 57 runs batted in. Manny was just 2 for 10 in the series in Anaheim. Garcia Parra was 1 for 11, but the Red Sox still managed to win 2 out of 3. 1-0 on Ramirez. Swing and a miss for a strike, 1-1.
And he was taking some big-time ribbing in that clubhouse today. As soon as Cliff Floyd arrived, most of the teammates went right to me and said, now we finally have a power hitter on this team.
There's Floyd on deck, waiting to come to bat for the first time as a member of the Red Sox. The ball, 2-1. And some interesting conversation with Grady Little before the game this evening, talking about how the addition of Floyd gives him a little bit more flexibility. He says he wants to talk to his coaches, but he's thinking about the possibility of having Floyd and Ramirez play right field and perhaps having Nixon play left field.
Well, Cliff Floyd did play some right field down in Florida. Remember, in interleague play, he was a right fielder for the Marlins, and of course Manny Ramirez throughout his major league career, most of his time with the Indians, all of his time with the Indians, was as a right fielder. That's something he talked about earlier in the season too. Back in the month of April, he thought about making that switch, Ramirez to right and Nixon to left.
Out of play to the right, 3-2. Of course, the common school of thought has been it's more important to have your better defensive outfielder at Fenway Park in right field because of the extra space. But Grady said he doesn't necessarily believe that that's true. They're both important and they're both difficult in their own way, left field at Fenway and right field. He thinks with Nixon's arm, he might throw more runners out, particularly at second base from left field at Fenway Park than what they're getting now. He hasn't committed himself to doing that, but he wants to talk to his coaches about it. Garcia Parra runs at strike 3. The throw off the mark, and Garcia Parra has his 5th stolen base.
Butch Rodriguez behind the plate, always one of the best in the business of throwing runners out, but he spent a lot of time on the disabled list this season with some physical problems, and on the 3-2 pitch, a great jump by Garcia Parra, and that throw off the mark. So Nomar picks up the steal, and Red Sox have a man in scoring position. Getting back to that point about right field, left field, you always want your strongest throwing arm in right field. You try to keep the guy from first base to go into third. That's why you need that strong throwing arm out in right field. That's what most teams try to do.
I'm just telling you what he said. Don't get mad at me. It's not my fault.
I'm not angry at you, Sean.
Taking it very personally.
Just trying to make a
Floyd
point.
takes the ball low.
Just trying to explain the fact that most teams like their strongest arm in right field.
Floyd hitting .275. Struggling lately. He hit just .208 in 15 games with Montreal after being acquired by the Expos from the Florida Marlins on July 11th. He went 11 for 53 for the Expos. When they traded for him, they thought they were a playoff contending team. They were trying to bolster their roster, but the additions of Floyd and Bartolo Colon didn't help them in the win-loss column. So they unloaded the higher salary of Floyd, making about $6.5 million a year. Elected to hang on to Bartolo Colon, even though there were a lot of teams, including the Red Sox, who were interested in Colon. 1-0 Boston here in the first. And Park walks Floyd on 4 pitches.
Well, you can certainly understand that with first base open and the type of career numbers that Floyd has against Chan Ho Park. That was almost like an intentional walk.
Here's Veritek hitting .293, 8 homers and 39 runs batted in. Jason riding a 16-game hitting streak. He chops one foul. He did not play last night. Doug Mirabelli handled the catching chores and had a good night. Doug went 2 for 4. During the streak, Jason's hit an even 400, 24 for 60. And in the first 2 games in Anaheim, continued his hot hitting by going 3 for 8, including a home run. One and one on Veritek. Outside, 2-1. Enho Park is from Korea. In his first year here with Texas, signed as a free agent, having spent all of his career with Los Angeles. Broke into the big leagues in 1994. Big winner with LA. 80 and 54 major league record for the Dodgers, including at least 13 wins in each of his last 5 seasons in Los Angeles. 15 and 11 last year. Won 18 games 2 years ago. Has 3 wins this year.
It seems like every move they made here for pitching has turned out to be a complete disaster. When you look at the relief pitchers on this club, almost all of them have spent time on the disabled list this year. Carl Everett, he's been on the DL twice this season and having just an awful year, although recently he's been starting to hit some home runs, but that batting average still under 200.
And Everett in left field now with the addition of Hollinsworth. They want to get a look at Hollinsworth in center field the rest of the year. Veritek a swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Red Sox have the lead on the home run by Johnny Damon on the 2nd pitch of the night. After half inning, Boston 1, Texas nothing. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. For the New York Yankees, their highest run total in more than 2 years. They'll try to keep that offense going tonight with this lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The leadoff hitter, the DH, Frank Catalanato. Kevin Mensch in right field batting 2nd. Alex Rodriguez leading the majors in homers and runs batted in, and red hot lately, the shortstop hitting 3rd. Then Rafael Palmeiro, the first baseman and cleanup hitter. Ivan Rodriguez catching and hitting 5th. The newcomer Todd Hollinsworth in center field. Carl Everett in left field batting 7th. Mike Lamb is the 3rd baseman. And the 2nd baseman, Michael Young, will hit 9th against John Burkett.
John Burkett, a member of the Rangers rotation from 96 through 99. The 10-3 record on the season, 3.77 ERA. Coming off his first complete game of the season against Baltimore. 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs. The Red Sox won that ball game 4-0.
Pitching with a 1-0 lead after the leadoff homer by Johnny Damon in the top of the 1st. A belt-high strike to Frank Catalanato. Hitting .273, 3 homers and 19 runs batted in. And it hit him right in the leg. And the right thigh. Burkett trying to move it inside on Catalanato. It came too far inside. So the lead man is on for Texas. The defense behind Burkett tonight. Cliff Floyd in left, Johnny Damon in center, and Trot Nixon in right. Shea Hillenbrand, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Ray Sanchez, and Brian Daubach, the infield from 3rd to 1st. And Jason Veritek is behind the plate. Now Kevin Mensch, he had a big night in their rout of the Yankees here last night, raising his season average to .282. Mensch had the first 4-hit game of his career. He went 4 for 6. He's 6 for 11 in the last 2 games. Homers on the year for Mensch. third among all American League rookies in that category. In his third stint with Texas this year, has been up and down between AAA and the majors 3 times. One strike pitch that hit Mensch.
Exactly the start that Grady Little had hoped for from John Burkett. Burkett has been back home here for the last 3 days. His daughter has been ill, and he really joined the club today. The first 2 guys get plucked by John Burkett. That's very, very unusual.
Looked like that got Mensch just above the elbow. Burkett had hit 5 men all year prior to this outing. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Now Alex Rodriguez hitting .314 with the major league leading 36 homers and 92 runs batted in. He's had a tremendous homestand for Texas. He's hit .500 during this homestand. 12 for 24 with 4 homers and 9 runs batted in. In 6 games on the homestand. And he rips that into right, a base hit. They will hold the runner with nobody out. Steve Smith, the third base coach, wisely putting up the stop sign for Catalanotto. A rocky start for Burkett. The first 3 men have reached.
Alex Rodriguez is just a pretty good player. Not bad. Getting hot now as the average is starting to climb. He's in the top 10 in batting average. Obviously leads in home runs, leads in RBI. And that's the kind of hitter he is. Takes that ball to the opposite field that time for the base hit. And with nobody out, they're not going to try to score the runner. Bases loaded. Another home run hitter coming to the plate.
Rafael Palmeiro, the batter. That's an 8-game hitting streak now for Rodriguez. And Palmeiro pulls one foul. .269 for Palmeiro. 28 homers. Chopped down the line, foul. And Palmeiro's in the hole 0-2. He has 9 career grand slams. 475 career homers. Hit career homer number 475 here on Tuesday. Moving in the top 20 on Major League Baseball's all-time home run list. He's tied with Stan Musial and Willie Stargell. Up and in. Burkett's success this season largely a byproduct of his ability to hold down the opponents once they have men on, and particularly with men in scoring position. Opponents are just 1 for 11 this season against him with the bases loaded. 2-2 now on Palmeiro. Drifting over by the seats. Sparse crowd here tonight. Certainly fewer folks in attendance than we're accustomed to seeing here. Their attendance is down by several thousand, still averaging about 30,000 per home date. Well, it's been a tough year for the Rangers. Just 45 wins. It's the lowest win total they've had this deep into a season since 1985. In a right, another hit. Little humpback line drive on to score Catalanotto. Nixon bobbles for a moment. That did not affect the play, as Mensch was going to score as well. So 4 straight men have reached to start the ball game against Burkett, and Texas has a 2-1 lead.
low curveball from John Burkett, and right toward the end of the bat, Palmeiro just serves it out on the right field for the base hit. And a couple of more RBI, and that's 71 and 72 for Palmeiro, and quickly the Red Sox give up the lead 2-1. Big time trouble here in the first inning for John Burkett.
1,542 career runs batted in now for Rafael Palmeiro, 31st all time. Now 9 behind Harry Heilman, 30th on Major League Baseball's all-time RBI list. Pudge Rodriguez pops it up, shallow right, gusty breeze here tonight. Nixon the catch. The runners cannot advance. That's the first out of the inning.
Burkett going inside with the fastball, tying up Pudge Rodriguez for that little pop-up. Pudge, another guy that has missed a lot of playing time, a disc problem in his back. Had him on a disabled list for a long time.
There was some talk around the trading deadline that he might be traded.
Is he free at the end of the season?
I believe he is.
Free agent.
And this is a team with a very high payroll. And apparently they're going to make a move to reduce it here in the coming years. Here's Todd Hollinsworth in his first at bat for Texas. Swing and a miss. He came over from Colorado yesterday with left-handed relief pitcher Dennis Reyes for outfielders Gabe Kapler and Jason Romano. As we said, they want to take a look at Hollinsworth the rest of this year as a center fielder. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. Kapler, once thought to be a rising star, had been relegated to 5th outfielder duties here. He figures to get more of a chance in Colorado. Line down the line, right off the chalk, a fair ball. Played in the corner by Floyd. Around the score, Rodriguez. On the third, Palmeiro. It's 3-1.
Hollinsworth had 48 RBI in 95 games for the Rockies this season with 11 home runs. He takes a high fastball, gets the hands above the baseball, and shoots it on the line right on the chalk down that left field line. You'll see it hit the chalk and kick up. Right there, all the way down in the corner, and by the time Floyd is able to dig it out, another run comes across for the Rangers.
Tony Cloninger on his way to the mound, and there will be bullpen activity for the Red Sox.
Well, the Red Sox may have hit this Ranger ball club at a bad time. They've played poor baseball all season, but they've been scoring a lot of runs recently as they really put it to the Yankees last night and Mike Messina.
And Messina felt like he didn't pitch very poorly. That I hit a lot of my spots, kept the ball down, and Texas still was able to drive the ball over the ballpark all night long, including one inning in which they had 6 doubles to tie the major league record. Saw Frank Castillo warming up. A-Rod and the Rangers out to a quick 3-1 lead. We're in the first. Here's the 7th batter of the inning, old friend Carl Everett. And he drives one to deep center. Damon retreating, looking up. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Carl Everett. And the Rangers are putting it on Burkett here in the first. Coming off a shutout in his last outing. He's getting shelled by the Rangers. 6 runs across in this inning. The home run for Everett is 11th of the season.
And we mentioned he's been hot recently. 5 home runs for Everett now in the last 7 games.
Burkett may not survive the first here. 415-foot homer. Everett was the only starter for Texas last night who did not have a hit as they pounded out 21 hits against New York. 1-1 the count now on Mike Lamb. He hit a home run last night. His first in 35 games. His 5th of the season. He has 20 runs batted in. Lamb was not expected to be their starter this year at third base. We saw Hank Blaylock, the rookie, in spring training, and he opened the season here, but scuffled. They sent him out. And Lamb got his job back. Burkett off the mound, waits for Daubach to get to the bag. 2 outs.
You better believe that Carl Everett enjoys this against his former ball club. That low ball, Carl, a certain low ball hitter. There's no question about that. Red Sox should never throw him a pitch below the belt. Dead low ball hitter. Straight away center field for the home run.
Here's the 9th batter of the first inning, Michael Young. And he takes strike 1. Young's put together a 6-game hitting streak. His average .251, 7 homers, 39 runs batted in. Shoots that out of play to the right. Maybe it's something about this park. Jerry mentioned that Burkett was a member of the Rangers rotation in the mid and late 90s. He's 16 and 18 in his career at this ballpark with an ERA of more than 6. A rough history here, and a rough first inning ends with a strikeout of Young. The Rangers get 6, including a 3-run homer by Everett, and they lead 6-1. 8 million times a day. Fox 25 meteorologist Kevin Lemanowitz shows you what makes lightning strike and how you can stay safe in a storm. Tonight after the game on Fox 25 News. We've had several lightning strikes already, including the 3-run homer by Carl Everett off John Burkett. Look out. Well, here comes the warning. Chan-Ho Park hits Shea Hillenbrand. Burkett hit 2 Red Sox Ranger batters to start the game. I don't think either one of them was intentional, but the Rangers feel like you're going to hit 2 of our guys, we're going to hit 1 of yours. So Hillenbrand hit in the upper back, and now both sides have been warned, and we've seen a lot of this lately.
Yeah, and you know, what in the world would make the Rangers think that John Burkett's going to start this ball game off and hit 2 batters in a row? He hasn't pitched against them all season long. They haven't played the Rangers all season long. And obviously he had nothing in the first inning. So Park comes back and retaliates. Okay, now both teams have been warned, and here we go again. If I was Park, I wouldn't want anybody on base the way he's been pitching.
Here's Daubach. He takes a strike. Daubach's put together a 4-game hitting streak. 6 for his last 13. His average .276, 14 homers and 51 runs batted in. Grady Little said before the game tonight that Daubach and Tony Clark, after the trade of acquiring Floyd, Daubach and Clark will likely platoon at first base. Daubach will see most of the action. He'll start against right-handed pitchers. Clark will go, and there's a lefty on the mound. And if you tuned in late, with the arrival today of Floyd and Bobby Howry, both of whom did join the team here in Texas tonight, the Red Sox made a couple of roster moves to make room for them. Willie Banks and Jose Offerman designated for assignment. Banks took it professionally. He wasn't happy, but took the news in calm fashion, and will take a couple of days to think about what he's going to do if he doesn't hook on with another major league team. The indications were he would likely accept an assignment to Pawtucket. That will not be the case for Offerman. And that was not the way he exited. Mike Port spoke to Offerman in the clubhouse, and Offerman unleashed a profanity-filled tirade at his direction. Most of the anger seemed to be because Offerman felt he should have been told the news yesterday, then he could have stayed at home in Southern California rather than travel here with the team. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Mike Port's response to that was, not to Offerman, but when asked about it later by the media, they weren't sure if Floyd and Howery would be here today for certain. They didn't want to leave the team shorthanded if they had travel problems or there's some other reason why they didn't make it. And for $6.5 million a year, Offerman could fly here and be a part of the team and wait till the time that he was officially designated for assignment and go back.
Grady Little said that yesterday. We're not going to make a roster move till tomorrow because we've got to be absolutely sure we have these guys in place in uniform. We don't want to play short-handed. And I missed the tirade. I had prior information on who was the moves we're going to make. So I left the clubhouse, and I'm kind of glad I did. I'm glad I didn't see that. Sounded like it was ugly, unnecessary, and bye-bye, Jose.
Shortly thereafter, as Sanchez stands in, as Offerman was leaving, a number of members of the media approached him for a comment, and then he unleashed another profanity-filled tirade in the direction of the members of the press. Sanchez to short. Rodriguez threw him out. Hillenbrand to second with 2 down. We're in the second inning. Texas has a 6-1 lead.
So I guess he's basically also blaming the press for some of his misfortunes.
He did. His comments to them were along the lines of, you were the guys who got me started in this direction in the first place. Of course, he hasn't talked to the press for most of the year.
No.
But I don't think it'd be any great loss. Jose didn't add much on the field here the last few years. He certainly wasn't a positive presence around the clubhouse. Not really a major negative one either. Pretty much kept to himself. They didn't add a whole heck of a lot on the field or off it, and certainly didn't cover himself in glory as he left today.
A very quiet guy, obviously, throughout his tenure here with the Red Sox. Did not say very much. Played the game hard, I thought. When he played, he tried the best he possibly could. The results were not good for the last couple of years. Became angry in spring training this year and remained angry all season long, and just erupted today in the clubhouse, which is really too bad for Mike Port and too bad for the new players coming in here to have to witness something like that.
Damon homered leading off last inning for the Red Sox run. He rips that one foul and right.
He had, what, one good year for the Red Sox, right? I think the first year he played here was a decent season for him. After that, not very much.
Well, there were a lot of people at the time who thought it was a bad signing by the Red Sox. Of course, Dan Burkett's memorable quote about Offerman being acquired to replace Mo Vaughn's on-base percentage. And they paid him a lot of money at a time when there wasn't much of a market out there for him. Of course, he had the big stolen base year. The last year he was in Kansas City in '98, 45 steals. Hit .294 in his first year with the Red Sox. Down to .255 in 2000, .267 last year. Of course, the stolen base totals dropped way off from the 45. At 18 his first year with the Red Sox. 0 in 2005 last year. Was actually improving in that area this year. They paid him a lot of money. I believe a total of about $26 million when it's all said and done. And that has to rank as one of the worst contracts given anybody in baseball in recent years.
And to the credit of this new administration, they easily could have held on to Offerman in case there was a work stoppage, and they would have not had to pay him in that time. They said, the heck with it. Grady Little recommended we want him off this team. They said, okay. They eat the money, and we move forward.
1-2 from Chan-Ho Park. Fouled out of play to the left. And it certainly turned around in a negative way quickly for Park. You'll recall he was an all-star last year for the National League. He served up the home run ball to Cal Ripken. A memorable moment from the all-star game in Seattle last year. In Ripken's last all-star game. Good pitch there. It tied up Damon. And the strikeout ends the inning. Park has fanned 4 already. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Well, it's the Red Sox yearbook, P.O. Box 1616, Boston, Massachusetts 02130.
John Burkett threw strike 1 to Frank Catalanato, who was hit on the leg by a pitch leading off the first inning, and he scored the first of their 6 runs. Backdoor breaking ball missed. Burkett's had a few starts this year. We had a rough first inning and then improved dramatically thereafter. He hopes that'll be the case again tonight. He's not off to a good start in that direction here in the second as Catalanato lined one into right for a base hit. Already the 5th hit for Texas.
Catalanato, another one of those Texas Rangers who spent quite a bit of time on the disabled list back in May. A strained groin and stretch fracture in his lower back. He was hit well against the Red Sox. .324 in his career coming in tonight's game against Boston pitching.
Kevin Mensch, the hitter. He was also hit by a pitch. And he looked at ball 1. He came around to score. Second of the 6 runs last inning. There's Castillo warming up again. Slowly down the line, fair ball. Hillenbrand's play is at first for the first out of the inning. Catalanato in scoring position now. Here comes Alex Rodriguez. He singled and scored the 3rd run last inning. Major reasons why he leads the majors in runs batted in is .383 average this year with men in scoring position. That's also highest in the majors. He signed the huge contract for $252 million over 10 years, but he earns the money by being out there every day. He's played in 332 straight games. Has not missed a game in 2 seasons with Texas. He's played in 269. 88 homers, 226 runs batted in those 269 games for Texas.
Well, the hope, obviously, with A-Rod, the fact that they would be a better ball club with him and that they would put more people in the stands, that was temporary. You've got to win. If you don't win, they don't show up. And to see a guy on a last-place ball club making that kind of money is going to be painful for the owner.
Little lob left center. That will fall in for another hit. Around to score, Catalanato at 7-1. So A-Rod is already 2 for 2 tonight. And Grady Little is going to make it a short night for Burkett.
And the top 2 RBIs going at each other in this series. A-Rod with 93 now. Garciaparra and Giambi tied for second with 87.
Just an inning and a third tonight for Burkett after that masterpiece he spun against the Orioles in his last outing at Fenway Park. A complete game 4-hit shutout without a walk. Castillo, the new pitcher, when we come back. Just an inning and a third tonight for John Burkett. And the Rangers lead 7-1. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Nextel Direct Connect. Get right through. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. And the new pitcher is Frank Castillo.
23rd appearance for Castillo. Of course, now moved to the bullpen. His last outing out of the bullpen was against the Orioles on the 26th. Went 3 innings in that game, allowing 5 hits, 1 earned run, and did have 3 strikeouts against Baltimore.
He inherits Alex Rodriguez at first with 1 out, 1 run in here in the second. Rangers leading 7-1. Castillo's first pitch inside. Palmeiro singled to right to drive in 2 in the first. He scored their 4th run last inning. Burkett gave up 7 runs all earned on 6 hits and 2 hit batsmen. He struck out 1. He's responsible for Rodriguez. Palmeiro took ball 2. And a strike over the outside part of the plate. Ball 3 high. Castillo back in his home state. He's from the El Paso, Texas area. Pitch was ball 4. Veritek thinking Rodriguez was running, moved down to second. Rodriguez wasn't running, but now he'll trot down to second because of the walk. Third, the Rangers have had 6 hits. They've had 2 batters hit and now a walk. 9 base runners. 9 of the 13 men who have come to the plate have reached. Pudge Rodriguez fly to right last inning. And he looks at ball 1.
These places have terrible memories for John Burkett. Of course, when he pitched here for the Rangers, he looked like a pitcher that was about ready to be out of the game of baseball. And then got rejuvenated down in Atlanta, signed with the Red Sox. But back here in Texas, not a good time tonight. One and one now on Rodriguez. Third base line. Eric Cooper, the third base umpire. And not by very much. Pudge Rodriguez right down the third base line. Wow. Very close, but right away the foul sign given by Cooper, the third base umpire. Ball dug out of the dirt by Veritek. This is game 1 of a 4-game series. Derek Lowe will start here tomorrow night against Ismael Valdez. We'll have that game for you at 8 o'clock. Base hit under the glove of Hillenbrand and in the left. Here comes Rodriguez. The throw from Floyd is cut off, and it's 8-1 Texas. A lot of times when a third baseman goes to his left, that ball will bounce up into the glove. Well, this time the bounce stayed down and right underneath the glove of Shea Hillenbrand. So the route is on early here tonight from Arlington, Texas. There's that ball staying down. Hillenbrand can't get to it. Von Rodriguez picks up his 35th RBI of the season. So Burkett allowed 8 earned runs in an inning and a third. His
line now complete, and the 2 base runners belong to Castillo. Ball in the dirt, and another good block by Veritek. 2-0 on Todd Hollinsworth, the former National League Rookie of the Year. Former Dodger. This is his first experience in the American League. He's the 1996 National League Rookie of the Year. Then with the Dodgers, went to the Rockies at the trading deadline July 31st of 2000. And 2 years later, traded on to Texas. And he walks on 4 pitches. Castillo isn't faring any better than Burkett. He has walked 2 and given up a hit.
Hollinsworth making his second appearance of the year against the Red Sox. He played him in interleague play when he was at the Rockies. Had a good series. He was 4 for 11 against Boston. And Castillo having the same type of difficulties as John Burkett.
Everett takes the ball low. He ripped a 3-run homer in the first. Long shot to straightaway center field. His first at bat against his former teammates. Well, of course, traded here by the Red Sox in the offseason for Darren Oliver. He drives that one to deep right. Home run. A grand slam for Everett.
Larry Holmes. How you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh, you know, how tall are you?
6'3", getting shorter.
And getting shorter. Uh-oh, you getting close to my fighting
Well,
weight
you know,
now.